The story starts involved with Jensen Ames, who is an commercial employee and ex-convict. He learns that the metal mill in which he works is shutting down and won't be paying the employees their complete wages. This is why the employees are protesting in the front of the enterprise. As frustration, a number of the employees grows anti-revolt. Police arrive there. The police are responding to even the smallest provocation with violence. Whilst Jensen sees his co-employees being overwhelmed, he steps in and fights back. For the duration of the method, he's taking down a few officials with inside the chaos. Come on. By the point Jensen makes it domestic, it's already night time. He greets his spouse, after which is going upstairs to test on their toddler. However, he's absolutely unaware that a masked intruder has damaged into the residence. Whilst Jensen is upstairs, the crook seizes the possibility to homicide his spouse within inside the kitchen. Whilst Jensen comes returned downstairs, the man ambushes him from in the back of and knocks him subconscious earlier, then leaving the intruder locations the homicide weapon in Jensen's hand and makes a taunting shooting gesture together along with his gloved hand. He had framed Jensen for the crime and left the residence. By the point time the police arrived there, Jensen wakes up moments later to locate the police arresting him for his spouse's homicide. 6 months later, Jensen is transferred to Terminal Autumn Jail. Upon arrival, he's greeted by Shield Rick, who sprays him with freezing water and additionally permits any other officer to hit him. After that, the Shield escorts Jensen to a mobile shared with 3 other prisoners. Reason on beating him up, but whilst Ulrich returns later with inside the desire of taking part in the aftermath, he sees that Jensen is a professional fighter who has already knocked all his cellmates out bloodless. The subsequent morning, Jensen heads to the mess corridor for breakfast. He's quietly discovered through prisoners educate Gunner and List, who apprehend him as a former champion motive force whose record-breaking profession led to tragedy. The atmosphere all at once shifts while prisoners Panko and his buddy method Jensen, they initiate him through spitting on his meals and insulting him through calling him a wife killer and child abuser. Listening to this, Jensen snaps and assaults Penko. However, earlier than the fight escalates, the guards interfere and drag him away to fulfill Claire Hennessy, who is the jail warden in her office. Claire, well known, shows that she is aware of all about Jensen's beyond as an outstanding motive force. She gives him a deal. She wishes Jensen to take at the position of Frankenstein, who became the masked tracer on this death race. The actual Frankenstein died at the operating desk after his ultimate race. However, the public does not recognize this, but this makes it easy for a person else to take his place at the back of the masks. Frank became a fan favorite and an iconic legend. That is why Hennessy is decided to hold his death a mystery. She wishes the parable of Frankenstein to stay on and revive the show's rankings due to the fact his passing. Hennessy tells Jensen that in accordance to the regulations of motive force earns their freedom after prevailing 5 races. Due to the fact Frankenstein had already received 4, Jensen could handiest want one extra victory to stable his launch. Regardless of the tempting prospect of freedom, Jensen hesitates due to the fact risking his existence in a deadly race is not a selection he's taking lightly. However, Hennessy might not take no for an answer. She threatens him with solitary confinement to make sure that he can't display her mystery with inside the jail. Now Jensen is left without a desire, however, to consider the provide. Jensen is then taken to the jail's car save wherein he meets Teach and his group, the mechanics accountable for maintaining Frankenstein's vehicle. They give an explanation for the regulations to Jensen. Each group operates independently and there is no helping every different. Jensen additionally notices a large workshop wherein Hennessy has been secretly constructing something for weeks. Handiest to choose few human beings, including Teach's group, and a handful of guards recognize Jensen is the brand new Frankenstein. Hennessy's manage over the jail guarantees her mystery stays secure. After that, Teach introduces Jensen to his vehicle, that is a closely modified Mustang V8 fastback. It is geared up with an array of offensive and shielding devices. However, no ammunition is loaded on the automobile until race day to save you prisoners from. In an effort to escape, the coach informs Jensen that fleeing this nightmare is futile since the prison is situated on an island. The only potential route out is a slim bridge that would immediately attract police cars and helicopters at the first hint of an escape attempt. After becoming accustomed to the vehicle, Jensen joins a team in the prison yard to further their discussion. The coach outlines the race format, which consists of 3 phases. During the initial 2 phases, the aim is to take out as many competitors as possible, while in the final phase, the focus shifts to speed for being the first to cross the finish line. Each driver has a navigator, usually a woman brought in from the women's facility. The lone exception is Joe, who opts for a team member instead. He has a notorious reputation for cycling through female navigators so rapidly that it often unsettles the audience. Subsequently, a team member starts to brief Jensen on the prominent racers in the competition, all of whom are gathered in the yard. Among them is 14K, a MIT graduate and Triad affiliate, followed by Hector Grimm, a certified psychopath who idolizes Hennessy. After that, we are introduced to Slovo. Education represents the journey where an individual either gains knowledge or imparts it to another. It also serves as a foundation for developing vital skills necessary for understanding social norms. Nonetheless, education's primary objective is to equip individuals to navigate life and contribute meaningfully to society as they grow older. Numerous forms of education exist, yet conventional schooling significantly influences how we assess a person's success. Moreover, education plays a crucial role in alleviating poverty, offering individuals the opportunity to enhance their lives. This aspect is one of the key motivations for parents who endeavor to provide their children with extended educational experiences. Education holds importance for all, as it facilitates a better quality of life through various opportunities. It enhances one's communication abilities by fostering skills in reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Additionally, it enables individuals to fulfill fundamental job qualifications and attain superior employment with greater ease. A well-educated populace is integral to the economic development of a nation. Nations boasting high literacy rates tend to experience favorable advancements in both human and economic growth. Therefore, obtaining an education is essential for everyone seeking a healthy and harmonious existence. In prison, she confesses that she murdered a police officer, who was also her spouse. She ended his life due to his abusive behavior. Their dialogue is abruptly interrupted as the race commences. The initial lap remains relatively tame, as weapons remain inactive until the second of the 3 laps. Nonetheless, the competitors battle fiercely to push one another off the circuit. With Case's understanding of the track, Jensen manages to keep pace with Joe at the forefront, remaining close to 100 feet behind. When Case identifies a shortcut, she directs Jensen through it, enabling him to seize the lead as the second lap begins. Hennessy activates the shields and weapons, bringing swords and shields into play, necessitating that the drivers navigate their vehicles over specific manholes, requiring all 4 wheels to promote their offensive capabilities. Utter chaos ensues as the race morphs into an all-out melee. Additionally, Hennessy raises the stakes by deploying the death heads, which are lethal obstacles strategically positioned on the track. A competitor named Grimm capitalizes on this and eliminates the less skilled driver by ramming his vehicle into one of the traps. He then hinders Joe's progress by spraying oil on his car, temporarily causing him to slow down. However, Grimm's dominance is brief, as soon 14K eliminates him by launching a missile and driving him off the circuit, leading to Grimm's vehicle crashing, and he emerges from the wreckage of it. Joe takes him down by driving over him during the race. Jensen successfully activates the weapons, but his machine gun malfunctions. Jay, displaying courage, climbs onto the hood to repair it, provoking a barrage of bullets from the other racers targeting Jensen's vehicle. Thanks to Jensen's exceptional driving abilities, he evades the gunfire, allowing Jay to safely return to the passenger seat. As the race becomes more intense, Jensen seizes a defensive manhole cover from Colt. But like the original Frankenstein, none of his defense mechanisms are operational at that moment. The rear shield is quickly depleting due to the continuous gunfire. Thinking quickly, Jensen devises a daring plan. He tells Jay to detach the napalm canister and position herself on his lap. He then ejects her seat, which now carries the napalm, causing it to plummet directly onto Colt's car. The napalm crashes into Colt's vehicle, and Jay follows up by tossing the car's lighter, igniting the napalm and setting Colt's car ablaze. With Colt taken out of the equation, Jensen once again confronts Joe directly. Suddenly, Jensen spots Penko making a recognizable hand gesture. It's the same one. Education is the process through which an individual either gains knowledge or imparts it to someone else. It is also the stage where one cultivates crucial skills to understand social norms. Nonetheless, The primary aim of education is to enable individuals to navigate life and contribute to society as they mature. There are various forms of education, yet conventional schooling significantly influences how success is evaluated for an individual. Additionally, education plays a critical role in alleviating poverty, offering individuals the opportunity for improved living conditions. This fundamental reason is why parents often strive to provide their children with prolonged educational opportunities. Education is essential for all, as it aids individuals in achieving a higher quality of life with numerous benefits. It enhances communication abilities by teaching reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills. It also equips individuals to meet basic job qualifications, facilitating access to better employment opportunities with reduced effort. An educated populace is crucial for a nation's economic advancement. Countries with high literacy rates are more likely to witness significant strides in both human and economic growth. Consequently, securing education is vital for everyone to lead a healthy and harmonious life. He favored the comfort of the prison and its routines. The coach also discloses that he doubts Jensen was responsible for his wife's death. Later that evening, while working on his vehicle, Jensen notices Penko walking by and chooses to shadow him to his team's pit. At that location, Jensen is ambushed by Penko's associates. Penko lands several blows on Jensen before seizing a heavy tool, intending to crush Jensen's skull with it, despite knowing he is under Hennessy's safeguarding. However, before Penko can strike, Litz intervenes and stabs Penko in the back with the pen. Seizing the opportunity, Jensen picks up a metal rod from the ground and utilizes it to stab one of Penko's affiliates. He then knocks out his assailants before redirecting his focus onto Penko. Jensen starts assaulting Penko, throwing him into nearby equipment and slamming him against crates. Ultimately, Penko confesses that Hennessy had ordered him to eliminate Jensen's wife and that Ree was the one who led him to the house. Just as Jensen is poised to land a lethal strike, Alicia and another guard arrive and break up the altercation, pulling Jensen away. The following day, just before the stage of the race commences, as Penko provokes Jensen, who once more mimics the hand gesture that haunted him the night his spouse died. This time, as the race starts, Jensen intentionally drives at a slower pace and enters a tunnel to engage in a private discussion with Case. Within the tunnel, Jensen confronts Case, questioning whether she played a role in the demise of the original Frankenstein. "Did you kill old Frank?" he demands, highlighting the alarming malfunction of the vehicle's gadgets during 2 successive races. When she hesitates to respond, Jensen threatens to oust her from the car if she does not give him an honest answer. Realizing the severity of this situation, Case admits that she impaired Frank's rear weapons under Hennessy's instruction. She was actually drawn in by the promise of freedom. She asserts that the objective was never to take Frank's life. It was merely an unfortunate accident resulting from Frank's frantic attempt to succeed without operational weapons. Hennessy's true intention was to guarantee Frank's defeat so that he could remain incarcerated and his fame could be exploited for the show. With his suspicions validated, Jensen shifts gears and accelerates back into the race, temporarily disregarding Joe as he focuses intently on Penko. They clash on the track multiple times, each striving to push the other off course, but neither is successful. Jensen then adopts a daring approach by activating the weapons manhole instead of the defense mechanism. Education refers to the process through which an individual gains or imparts knowledge to someone else. It is also the environment where essential skills and social norms are cultivated. Nonetheless, the primary aim of education is to equip individuals to navigate life and make contributions to society as they mature. There are various forms of education, yet conventional schooling significantly influences how success is evaluated in a person. Furthermore, education plays a crucial role in alleviating poverty, offering individuals opportunities for improved living standards. It is essential to understand that this serves as one of the driving factors behind parents' efforts to ensure their children attain as much education as possible. Education is crucial for everyone, as it fosters a better life through numerous advantages. It enhances individuals' communication skills by teaching them to read, write, speak, and listen effectively. Additionally, it enables people to meet fundamental job qualifications and attain superior employment with greater ease. An educated populace is integral to a nation's economic development. Nations with elevated literacy levels tend to experience favorable advancements in human and economic growth. Consequently, it is vital for all to pursue education to lead a healthy and harmonious life. It would the dread disabled the second stage ends. Only Jensen and Joe are now left to proceed to the final race later. That evening, Joe approaches Jensen in the pit. He notes that Jensen's voice suspiciously resembles Frank's. Meanwhile, Hennessy and Red decide that Jensen must be eliminated in the final game the next day. Just before the final stage of the race begins, all places a bomb under Jensen's car while Hennessy distracts everyone with a speech about racing being their purpose, as she mentions that this could be the first time someone wins their freedom with the fifth victory. Jensen realizes something disturbing. He thinks that Hennessy has rigged the races all along to eliminate anyone who could win a fifth time. No one has ever reached that milestone because of the system's manipulation. That means, like all the others before him, he won't be allowed to win today. Either coach has also heard Jensen's realization about the race rigging, so he shows Jensen a crucial detail from a video of Grimm's death. This sparks an idea in Jensen's mind, and he asks List to install a half-gallon reserve tank in his car. He then visits Joe's location to suggest another partnership while Jensen changes into Frank's attire. Hennessy arrives with his release documents and a new proposal. She claims that if Jensen succeeds today, she wants him to remain incarcerated as Frankenstein to uphold the legacy. She contends that someone with his background wouldn't provide his daughter a satisfactory life, and continuing in the competition would be the ultimate selfless expression of love. Jensen accepts the release documents but says nothing, merely storing them in his pocket. As Jensen gets ready for the race, it comes to light that Hennessy also contacted her, asking her to halt Jensen if he was on the verge of winning. However, Jensen remains unfazed as the race kicks off. Joe manipulates the manhole covers, triggering them only when his vehicle passes over, then opens fire on Jensen, severely damaging his back shield and forcing him to drop it. Nevertheless, Joe already possesses the knowledge to evade such attacks. Having learned from Frank's earlier strategies, Hennessy, keen to keep the audience entertained, activates a protective manhole for Jensen, but Joe counters with a missile that obliterates it. Joe continues firing missiles at Jensen, who adeptly maneuvers to dodge them, allowing them to smash into a wall, a known vulnerable spot from Grimm's demise. Joe and Jensen had orchestrated this moment as the rockets strike the wall's weak point, finally creating an opening large enough for their escape. Rather than racing for triumph or clinging to the competition, they have designed their final act of defiance, which involves escaping the prison and liberating themselves from Hennessy's grip on the system. In a fit of fury, Hennessy terminates the broadcast and dispatches every cop available after Jensen. Subsequently, she activates the detonator for the bomb beneath Jensen's vehicle, but her scheme falters as the coach and his team have already removed and deactivated it. Meanwhile, Jensen and Joe accelerate towards the bridge while the police vehicles are narrowing in on them. It's time for the next phase of their escape strategy. Jensen activates the additional half-gallon reserve tank intended to discard earlier. The tank collides with the chasing police vehicles, resulting in an explosion and a blazing barrier that obstructs the police's pursuit and stops any additional cars from following. The two fugitives successfully cross the bridge. They then separate onto two distinct roads to mislead the helicopters that are closely pursuing them. The helicopters concentrate on Jensen, as he is the primary target. Meanwhile, Case decides to assist Jensen with the final part of the plan since she feels indebted to Frank. Given that Hennessy has already issued her release papers, she is confident they will allow her to leave once it's complete. As they maneuver past construction cranes, Jensen seizes the moment to jump from the vehicle and seek refuge underneath their shadows. Case takes over the driving duties, moving a bit further until helicopters compel her to halt with a blaze of fire. Upon exiting the vehicle with her hands raised in submission, she dons Frank's clothing and mask, effectively stepping into his role. This unexpected development leaves everyone puzzled, as Case now embodies Frankenstein and aids Jensen in breaking free from Hennessy's grasp. Case is subsequently apprehended by the police and returned to prison, while Jensen triumphantly makes his escape. He reunites with Joe, and the two board a train, leaving the tumult behind. Meanwhile, in the prison offices, Rhea observes the ratings escalate to unprecedented levels, with congratulatory gifts pouring in. He opens a gift box, only to discover it contains the bomb that R himself had placed beneath Jensen's vehicle. At that moment, the bomb explodes, resulting in the deaths of both Rhea and Hennessy in the blast. Outside, Coach appears to have triggered the detonator, ensuring the elimination of the two corrupt individuals. Half a year later, Jensen and Joe have established their lives in Santa Rosalia, Mexico. They have started anew, operating their own auto repair business. Working side by side as mechanics, Jensen has regained custody of his daughter, and it seems everything has aligned perfectly. Case is now free as her release documents were finally completed. She pays them a visit and brings along a racing car for them to examine.